Okay, good day to you all. My name is Amelia and you're watching Amelia Bennett Books, whatever. I'm pretending this is a show or something. Anyway, I want to get through this in a kind of more cohesive way than usual, just because I'm filming this the day before I'm meant to be uploading it and I don't want to do much editing. So we're going to try and take things a little more gracefully, a little more slowly perhaps, and also a little more composed than usual, not doing with the stupid pauses or anything like that. So yeah, if this comes off as a bit weird, it's because I didn't edit it that much and because I couldn't be bothered. So let's get into the video. So this is my wrap up for the month of May, first month of exams, and I only read actually 2 physical books. This is the wrong physical book. I really just did that. I actually only read 2 physical books in the month of May, and the first one was A Gathering of Shadows, which I told you about in my last update, and the second one was The Mammoth Book of Celtic Myths and Legends, and I rated A Gathering of Shadows at, I think it was 4 stars, but I might lower the rating to 3 stars, just because after reading it, like once you've got out of that haze of just having read a book, you kind of get some time to reflect on it and you think, oh, maybe it wasn't as good as I thought. And I kind of was able to notice more of the issues, although I did come into this noticing a lot of issues and I came out of it feeling like most of them weren't that impactful. But yeah, I'll talk about this more when I do a series review for the Shades of Magic trilogy, because I finally have A Conjuring of Light to read. Like, look at that monster! Anyway. So moving on, we have Celtic Myths and Legends. I think I gave this one 4 stars as well, just because this, or maybe 5 stars, I'm not sure, but this I felt like was a really good compendium of all sorts of different mythologies and legends and folkloric tales and things like that, and I felt like it just covered everything in a pretty easily understandable language. I didn't feel bored while reading anything, and I didn't find it hard to pay attention, which I do find a lot when it comes to like epic poetry and things like that, so I'm not reading Beowulf anytime soon. But yeah, I actually felt like this was pretty well written, pretty simple to understand. It doesn't go in depth to any of like the gods or things like that, which I think was what I was looking for when I got this, but it does kind of have this coverage in the beginning where it's just like, I think it's called, yeah, The Ever-Living Ones in the beginning, and it just talks about the deities in this theology, and yeah, I thought it was really interesting, I enjoyed it a lot, and yeah, okay, let's move on to my non-physical books. So on my Kindle, the first book that I read, I'm gonna have to try my hardest to guess which it was. The first book that I read I think was The Moomins and the Great Flood, because I just felt like it was something, I needed something sweet to calm me down after A Gathering of Shadows, and it supplied 100%, absolutely. I gave it 5 stars. It's just so like sweet and cute and absolutely like one of the best things that I've possibly read this year, like obviously within the context of it being a children's book, but I really enjoyed it. I felt like it was something that I could just get into and forget all my worries and things like that, so I gave that 5 stars. The second one that I read on Kindle was The Art of Mysticism by Gabrielle Saron, which I read for my Occult Book of the Month for May, and I have a lot of mixed feelings on it. I felt like often it was a bit outdated in a number of things. Maybe the political correctness department, it could have used a little more tweaking there, maybe a conversation with the author would have been nice. But it did have a bunch of really practical resources. Obviously I'll talk more about that in my Occult Book of the Month. But yeah, I gave it 3 stars. My review is on Goodreads. I should probably start linking my reviews in these. I'm not going to do it for this video, but let me know down below if you think that would be a good idea. And the other book, the other 2 books that I read on my Kindle are The Strange the Dreamer. And I wanted to read Strange the Dreamer for a while. I was kind of on and off thinking about it. Do I really want to read it, or is it just because of the booktube hype around it? And I read it, and I feel really bad for this, but I didn't love it. I read it and I cried a lot. I feel like emotionally very good, very solid. Character motivations, great, brilliant, like very technically skilled in terms of the book itself. But when I was reading it, I was just thinking, this isn't my type of story. This isn't the kind of thing that I enjoy from a story. And I felt really surprised by that, because a lot of the times because I haven't read something that hasn't been my type of story for such a long time, that I was just shocked that this wasn't the kind of thing that I usually enjoy. And I was like, oh, this isn't for me? And I was so weirded out by it. And also, as someone who has been through some shit, I should warn you that there is a lot of triggering content within the story, and if you have any kind of emotional turmoil anyway, it's probably gonna set that off in a way which might not be super pretty. So please bear that in mind when reading the book. I was okay, but I can see how like people with certain triggers could find it incredibly distressing to read through. And yeah, I also found that I didn't really like the relationships. Anyway, I might do a review, I'm not sure. Let me know if you want to see a full review of Strange the Dreamer. I probably won't be reading Muse of Nightmares just because it didn't enamor me in any way. But yes, so moving on, those are all the books that I read this month because I've been having exams. So the next book that I am currently reading and will probably finish today, so I'm going to count it as books I read in May, is Comet in Moominland. Because I needed to cool down after Strange the Dreamer. Do you see a trend? So I'm reading Comet in Moominland so far. It's super cute, super fun, 50% of the way through. Loving it. Like, just, I wish this had been present in my childhood. I wish my mum had like made more effort to put things from her childhood into my childhood, because I feel like I would have loved this and just adored the characters so much. They are all adorable. They're all little kids. I just, it's bringing me back to when I was young and free and had no worries in the world, and that is incredibly pleasant. I am also currently reading Good Omens, which I'm going to go grab. I'm doing a reread of Good Omens. As you may have noticed, the date today, as of filming this, is May 31st. The date that the Good Omens miniseries comes out is May 31st. And I thought, oh my goodness, I had planned to reread this and make it into like a thing, maybe a read-along, but I completely forgot and exams happened. So I'm now just reading it by myself. I got to 33 pages last night, and I've been going through and I've been re-annotating and things like that, because this is what I do with books I love. I've been dog-earing and all like those gross things that everybody hates, but I think make it like really obvious that a book is like well loved. And yeah, I'm just treating this book so badly because I love it so much. It's okay though. I have a fancy copy too. So yeah, I'm rereading through this. I'm going to do this. I'm probably only going to watch one episode a week because I'm watching with my family. But yeah, I'm going to reread, go through everything. Just try and reacquaint myself with the story. And yeah, I'm really excited to see this adapted onto TV. I know it's got mixed reviews, but like, I'm really excited. I feel like I have a good feeling. I feel like I'm going to love it. Okay, anyway, moving on. As for writing projects. Writing. So I have not been writing The Scepter of the Silver Sun this month just because I got a little bit bored of it and moved on to something else. The something else that I moved on to is not titled, but it is a story about two fairies from opposing courts. One is a Seelie fairy and one is Unseelie, and they are kind of a little bit into each other, but in like, oh no, this is probably not gonna turn out okay kind of way. And there's a little changeling. So the fairies' names are Anya, which is spelled A-I-N-E, and Dawin is how I've been pronouncing it in my head. I think it's actually Dalvin. So there's Anya and Dalvin. Dalvin. But I know it's a pretty name and it means something significant. Anyway, those are the names. They are kind of into each other, and they have a little changeling child called Genesis. And yeah, I'm really excited to keep writing this, I say, having written nothing for a week. But yeah, it's exams. The exams are just kicking me in the butt right now, so I can't write anything else. Anyway, now that we've moved on from writing stuff, we can move swiftly into the one thing which I think is wonderful and I love, which is TV series that I am watching. I want to 100% recommend to you the wonderful series that is Ghosts on BBC. It is so funny, so amazing. I just can't get over it. I cannot wait for the next season. I can't wait for anything else. It's just the only thing on my mind right now. Actually, no, the only thing on my mind right now other than Good Omens. Yeah. I've also been finally watching Brooklyn Nine-Nine season 4 because it's finally come up on, or season 5? I think it's season 5. But it's finally come up on Netflix in the UK, so I can finally watch it without piracy. So that's great. So I'm watching that. I've also been watching The Tick on Amazon. It's an Amazon original and it is very good. It is about a group of categories which are superheroes with superpowers who are living on Earth, and it's really funny and it's amazing. Hashtag save the tick. Anyway, I just thought that the first season was brilliant and funny and wonderful, and the second season was equally brilliant and funny and wonderful, and I 100% tell all of you, go watch it right now so that it can get renewed for season 3, because otherwise it won't happen and we'll never be able to see these wonderful characters again and find out why one of them is a criminal. Anyway, a fugitive. Find out why one of them is a fugitive. Anyway, and of course I'm going to be watching Good Omens today, and I'll give you an update in the comments maybe of what I think of that. I'm really excited. Nothing is going to stop me being 100% hyped for Good Omens. And podcasts. I'm trying to get through this fast. I don't know why, but my brain equated fast with fluid, and this is what's happened. So I've gone into podcasts. I have been ramping up the witchy vibes with the podcast this month, and I have been keeping updated with the Witch Wave, obviously, amazing podcast, Pam Grossman, wonderful witch who I love and adore with my entire heart and who is my ultimate role model, who interviews other witches and artists who come on his show and talk about magic, and it's just amazing and wonderful, and I just absolutely adore it, and it's the best podcast in the world. Okay, great, now that that's over with, I've also been listening to Tarot for the Wild Soul because, may I introduce to you my new tarot deck. Her name is Ariadne, and I'm going to show you one card because she's absolutely beautiful. Look at these. Look at all of this. These are all kind of lame cards. Okay. Sorry, that's so rude. I'm going to show you. Look at the Lovers card. Oh, just absolutely gorgeous. And yeah. So I got a new tarot deck, and so I've been listening to Tarot for the Wild Soul by Lindsay Mack, and it is honestly one of my favourite tarot podcasts. I've learnt so much, and I've only been listening for a little while. I cannot wait for the next episode. I'm like so antsy. I'm like, oh, when is she gonna upload it? I cannot wait for the monthly medicine for June and all of that, and it's like, oh, Lindsay Mack, I owe you my life. Moving on, we have the next little bit that we are doing, and that of course is Ghost of a Podcast by Jessica Lanyadoo, and I've only listened to one episode, and it's the only most recent episode because I know it's an astrology podcast, which means that it's going to be relevant to the time where you're in, so it might not be useful going back and listening to the old ones. But her, like, she did this bit of animal communication, and it was just blew my mind how, like, amazing it was just listening to it, and her personality is just, she's got such a beautiful, shining personality where she's just so wonderful and friendly and talkative, and you just never want to stop listening to her. So go listen to Ghost of a Podcast if you are into that sort of thing, if you love astrology as much as I do. I'm not an astrologer, I would rather pay someone else to do that for me. But yeah, I'm in the I will watch it and adore it from afar, but I could never do that myself camp. But yeah, I am a Sagittarius sun with a Libra rising. But yeah, that is it for my monthly May wrap up. I will see you with another wrap up next month. Blah blah blah. Thank you all for watching. Love you. I'm also probably going to be doing commissions. That's so okay. Weird self promo. Real quick, I'm doing commissions on my Tumblr. I will link it down below in the description box. And if you want to buy some art from me, please. I need a job so bad. I have been trying and trying to find one, and it has not been working. If you have job hunting tips, please let me know down below. And I would be very grateful if you have any like friends of friends in London that just like have vacancies. But yeah, thank you all for watching. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.